Welcome back to the OCS. I am Ejim. This is Vandy. I just had a very short trip upstairs.
Yep.
Was just skedaddling to get some water in our 3-minute break.
Yeah, it was very nice. I was skedaddling to go to the bathroom in time. It's amazing how fast 3 minutes goes.
Yeah, I came back and the timer, like I walk in the room and there's a TV like at a very harsh angle. Like it's
Yeah.
it's
We
parallel
both
to the
did the
door.
same thing.
And I saw 1:14 on the clock and all I saw was the 14. And I shit my pants. But then, look, we had an
And
extra
then
minute,
I
so
did
it's
the
fine.
same thing. I burst in and I was like, oh my god, 1 second before oh, it's 1 minute.
And we're all Gucci. And now we've broken the fourth wall. But it is going to be Order Academy, actually UTS on the blue side versus Order Academy
Nice.
for this game of the day in a battle of the bottom of the table, right? Order Academy picked up a victory last weekend. First one of the split so far. UTS, not in the same boat. They're struggling to pick up
having
their
a
first
good
victory
run.
this season.
I think they can do it. And like I already said it, as soon as they do it, I'm bringing my UTS hoodie in for support. But until they do,
You're a bandwagoner.
am I?
Yeah, you're like, okay, when you win, I'm jumping on the
Yeah,
bandwagon.
but like it's a very bright red hoodie and it's very hot. So
yeah, okay.
like I think kind of like 1 win's not too much to ask for. It's not like I'm like, you must go 10-0.
Yeah, okay. But, I mean, it's still technically bandwagoning.
I
I'm definitely
still
going to hold you to that, though.
Okay,
If
done.
there's a victory,
Mhm.
I expect UTS hoodie on broadcast.
Done.
But until that point, yeah, maybe we won't see it. Order Academy is actually going to be rocking series in the top lane once again this week. Not sure where Vance has gone, but it's going to be 2 weeks in a row where unfortunately he hasn't been on the roster. So, coach subbing in, at least he's subbing into his role, has played a Vayne game this split, which felt very rough for the Order Academy guys, but potential up there. Will he play a Renekton again? Maybe.
Have to wait and see. Renekton's actually really come back to the swing of things.
Mm.
But we've seen Aatrox being let through 2 times now, and both
Yeah.
times everyone's really struggled against him. So it's either we're picking him or he needs to be banned. But
Yeah.
also those 2 times, we didn't have the full bans available to us.
That is true, though. 2
Yeah.
Aatrox games. I mean, that makes sense that, like, possibly one of the most broken champions on the patch is getting through when, like, people
Yeah,
can't
but like
ban
you're
it.
banning stuff like Jarvan and, you know.
Yeah, you're getting, like, the targeted bans instead of, like,
Yeah.
the hella OP bans.
Yeah.
But nobody going for the gentleman's handshake. You know, everybody just bans the normal stuff.
You hope so.
That's
Well,
always...
like you said, you like the Wild Wild West.
Yeah, like, I can tell you from experience being associated with teams, it's always super scary, especially, like, going into, like, semi-finals, finals, like, best-of series. You get to game number 1, and normally you have a fairly definitive read on what your opponent's going to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, they're probably going to ban like these, like one of these 4 things or like 3 of these 4 things. And then they come out and they just ban like a bunch of garbage that you don't know what's happening. And you're just like, oh,
Oh no,
no.
what are they going to pick?
What's-
All the OPs are up.
yeah, what's going to go on?
Let's get as many as we can.
I haven't played Aatrox with Silas. Like, how does that work? I don't know. So
We're
it,
going to find out.
yeah, certainly changes things. But all 6 bans in the first rotation are going to be here for this game. UTS versus Order Academy now through the draft. Interesting stuff.
So Order, they'd be looking to join, was it QT in getting that 2-4 score if they
Yeah.
can win this one. And UTS just getting that first win on the board. It would mean so much to them. No one wants to be that team.
Yeah, nobody does.
Like it's harsh. But with UTS, I say it time and time again, I feel like they've got a good foundation. It's just the
Yeah.
small mistakes that they keep making. And I'm hoping that with each kind of week, they're feeling more confident.
Yeah, and I will say as well, though, the roster really does seem to be the foundation that they need, and they have been lacking. It's not Fuzzy Zola in the mid lane. Cadence is moving up, played AD last time. Now he's in mid. Midas coming in as the AD carry to fill the slot there. So constantly evolving roster here for UTS as the bans
We
are
are
going to be
rapid firing
completed.
through.
Yeah.
I guess the 2 that I was really looking at was the Nico as well as the Rakan.
Yeah.
So really stopping maybe that Xayah-Rakan combo that we've seen. But UTS hasn't really brought that one out.
Yeah, this is no Aatrox bans. Nautilus has hit the bench, Silas and Ryze as well. But this is Yuumi up and available, Aatrox up and available. Hyper is going to lock in the Aurelia for the first pick. But unexpectedly, this is a bunch of targeted stuff. This isn't the meta. This is Rakan, Nico, Jace. Nautilus, maybe you could count towards that, but fairly interesting. And I feel like these are teams that have played interesting stuff. Order last week was the quadruple TP with the
Yes,
Sona support.
That's the one,
They
which I
al-
accidentally got confused.
Yeah, they also played Talia Pantheon bottom lane. Here we go.
Sona Taric to open things up.
They also played Sona, not Taric. So maybe they don't even take it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So back in... It's really weird, okay? So we know that Yuumi and Sona go... Sorry, Yuumi and...
Sivir.
Sivir, thank you. Go very, very well together. But everyone, when Yuumi first came out, was like, oh, she's just a worse Sona.
Yeah. I mean,
But...
she kind of was.
Yeah, but now everyone's understanding her, how she plays.
Yeah.
But the playstyle is still very much the same. The Crescendo
Yeah.
acts the same way to zone or engage.
She did receive a fairly hefty hotfix. Gave her a little,
They were like,
little
we
thumbs
need
up
to-
on the numbers.
They gave her some catnip, some kitty
Yeah.
kibble, and really boosted that kitty up.
Yeah, felt much better after that one. It is just going to be the blind Yumi locked in, not with an 80 carry, so I expect there to be probably an Ezreal band away here, but bunch of power picks surrounding the cat. The Aurelia, the Aatrox, this double solo lane is already locked in for UTS, but those are incredibly strong solo laners to boot.
Ooh, hovering the volley bear, but going for the Olaf. I was really hoping for a volley bear, mainly because you know he's getting that rework. It was announced.
Is he?
Yeah,
I
everyone
actually-
voted, and Fiddlesticks and volley bear tied.
Ah, okay. So, like, the rework, he's getting one. We haven't seen any of what
Anything
the rework...
yet,
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
but he's definitely confirmed one with Fiddlesticks.
I'm that guy. Like, I'm not a PBE gobbler. I don't know if you are, but, like, the people that, like,
No.
read the PBE patch notes, and I always get questions like, oh, hey, Jim, have you...
Did you say?
like,
You're like,
what do you
no.
think of this?
I'll
And I'm
just go
like,
live.
is it in the live patch? And they're like, no. And I'm like, no idea, dude.
Yeah,
It's-
like, I get that they need people to do it, but I'm very much the same.
Yeah.
It's more just, I like these competition kind of things where you vote. I really wanted Shyvana to get one.
Oh, yeah.
She came in third.
Yeah, okay.
So I was like, but Tice, he wanted the volley bear. He's going to get it. But
Yeah.
he's like, he's fine the way he is.
Volibear and Shiv, in my head, are kind of like two very similar old kind of
Just
buttholey champs.
yeah.
You know, like they do similar
I
stuff.
hate Shyvana in her current state. I'm
Yeah.
just like, you just run at people and sometimes you do things.
I
And
feel
you
like-
can only go that weird AP build.
Yeah, I feel like when AP Shiv is better than normal
Regular.
Shiv,
She's got issues.
it's probably problematic.
Well, we'll wait and see. So many would'ves, could'ves.
Yeah.
The
What
Olaf
was-
was locked in anyway.
What was the last time Shiv was like properly competitively viable? Was it
Aw.
Shiv jungle?
Wasn't it just when farming jungles was such a big thing?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm thinking like it's not like Diamond Proc Shyvana IPL 5 tier super old school.
Yeah.
Surely since that point, I feel like we've seen.
I just haven't
Oh,
seen
when it was
much of
TP Ignite Shyvana top lane, when they
Yeah,
stopped
I
having.
remember
and
her
it
in
was like,
top lane. I used to play in top lane.
I actually have such a flawed timeline of when like different metas were. Like skirmishes, smite top Shyvana was a thing for a very long time, but I feel like that was like
Huh.
2014, genuinely 5 years ago. So, like,
You're really showing your age. You've got this old Gandalf beard. You're back in my
Gandalf
day.
beard?
Yeah, back in my
you can't
day.
even see it.
Not yet.
It doesn't exist. But
We've flown through this draft.
yeah, we have.
And oh, okay. So LeBlanc picked up by Seaway. I
Mhm.
think he's played that one in the past. I'm
Uh,
counting your memory, otherwise
You
I'm
mean
going for this.
JLKC? Like Seaway's definitely not going to be
Yes,
piloting
yes,
that one.
JLKC.
But yeah, it is a bunch of the
Yeah.
80 carry bands. Ezreal was the one we expected, but not going to hit the bench. So
Well,
Kai'Sa is gone. Hyper.
That goes down
Bans his
to
own
what we've
Fiora.
seen him play. But Midas, because, yeah, we've had a bit of a switch up.
Mhm.
Midas now fulfilling that role. And then Frolic, he's played a lot of that Galio in the past. I think he whipped out a Nami once.
Yeah.
But he does... Oh, sorry. He's got
got
the
the Yuumi.
Yuumi. My
Mhm.
goodness me.
So jungler is going to be locked in here for Elite.
Mhm.
Does he go something boring like the Sejuani? Aatrox jungle.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it didn't really work out when we saw it last week. He still, I find... He works so well in that top lane. I'm not saying that it won't work. It's just that his strengths really rely in being that duelist.
Yeah, it just means you get an extra counter pick for the LeBlanc. I now expect the Akali to go towards the LeBlanc lane, and they're just like, yeah, let's put Aurelia top, Aatrox in the jungle. More of like a draft tool than anything
Oh,
else,
wow.
really.
Speaking of like the volley bears and Shyvanas and things, Rumble, this is very much, you're picking it because you love this niche hero.
Yeah, series. Long-time Rumble player, in all honesty, has played a bunch of it in the OPL so far. Has played Renekton this split. I don't think he's played a Rumble game so far, but certainly comfortable on the champion. He's going to be into Aurelia, which I think is a fairly rough matchup, but Olaf, huge tempo jungler.
Yeah.
Uni has had a very good split so far, I think, especially on that Lee Sin game has popped off. But when you pair that with a lane like Rumble, who probably should just naturally get priority, then you have a very fast clearing jungler and a very like lane dominant top laner in the Rumble, and a lot of freedom towards top side of the map for Order.
Also, when you're trying to fight for those objectives, you can get that Rumble to TP in, and also just his ability to really lock
Yep.
out those chokes. It's scary.
What do you call this? It's been here all day.
Oh, Cowlick.
Is it a cow lick?
I think so.
I blame the
Can
headset.
you smooth it down?
I mean, yeah, but then and I'm gone. But I'll fix it next time, guys. Don't worry.
I think it's a Cowlick, where like if you can't smooth it down, it goes like the other way. Did
Yeah.
you put any product in there?
No,
Oh,
not today.
that's
Normally I
probably-
do, but
I don't know. It's just running wild and
I
free.
missed it.
Like this draft.
I missed the boat. Yeah, pretty interesting one. A lot of the power picks do get through, but UTS versus Order Academy certainly not set up to disappoint this time. Sona once again in the hands of Mog, big time Sona player. I realized Dom was the guy I was getting him confused with last week. Not sure if you heard that conversation, but there were two guys and he's not that guy.
He's the other guy?
Yeah, he's the other
No,
guy.
I don't remember this one.
He's the other guy.
See, my memory is like, I have like little triggers for him, right? And if you don't hit that one, it's just like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay.
It's like just a little bits and pieces. Like when you say keywords. That's how mine kind of works. Now you can do memory games to make it a lot better.
To do with remembering...
Just like things like, so you can associate like champion skills with numbers, or like, it's really freaky what people can
Oh,
do.
yeah. Apparently, like, this is... Okay, I'm going to say this with a grain of salt. I read it in a random book, but apparently the best way to remember something is to, like, walk through your house virtually in your head. And it's like, okay, I walk in this way,
No,
and you
I've
have
seen
10
that.
things in, like, the entrance, whether it's, like, a cupboard with, like, a lamp on it, and then in the drawer is X, and everything, like, every 10 things you associate to whatever you're trying to remember.
Yeah.
And then you, like, keep walking through the house,
Yeah,
and you build that
I've heard
association.
that. No, I think we read the same thing. There's
Yeah.
also another one where it's really interesting. Once you start paying attention to when you meet someone for the first time, when you ask for someone's name, when you actually commit it to memory and maybe you associate it with like something about like Bryce with the glasses or something, you know?
Oh, call me Four Eyes? Come on.
No! Look, you are part of the council. That's another discussion. But no, like it just helps me remember. I'm like, oh yeah, Bryce. But I'm not going to tell you my nickname for you, you know?
Well, you just did.
Well, I didn't use it. I used Jim Bryce.
Wait, what?
Like, that's how I remember you is that Bryce.
Oh.
I know a couple of
How many
them.
Bryces do you know? Weird, okay.
I know 2 others.
Oh, super weird.
But do you spell yours is B-R-Y-C?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, I guess that's the only way to spell
Yeah, I was about to say I've never seen it spelled another way in
Bryce,
my
like
life.
with Bryce. Oh dear.
A little bit of a roughie, but we are on to the Rift. For game number 4 of the day so far. Leash coming out of the bottom lane for UTS, so naturally going to get shoved in these early levels. And on the other side of the Rift, Series doing exactly the same thing.
Just shoving away. It's really interesting with Order Academy. They had every chance to ban Ezreal, but they aren't phased by it. They have a plan for it. And this either goes to show that perhaps Midas, they've done their research, he's not as comfortable on it, he doesn't really pick it. So sometimes people can get baited into these sorts of picks and things like that. I'm just curious, because this could backfire for them potentially.
Yeah, potentially. I also like that it was semi-reactive, right? The Yuumi blind pick, if you leave Ezreal open, like, yes, it's good. I say that in, like, quotation marks, like, it is good, but it's predictable. So if you ban away something else, maybe you don't want to deal with the Varus, I'm blanking, no, it's the Kai'Sa, which is the other ban.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, like, yes, if we leave Ezreal open, they'll take it. And then their bottom lane is Ezreal Yuumi, and we're just going to push it in with a Sona Sivir. We're just going to be able to stack up our kind of Sivir comp as best as possible without much recourse from the opponent. So potentially a read on a champion pool, potentially just a read on how the draft kind of played out here for Order, but as you mentioned, certainly had control over it and opted into leaving that one available.
So much
That is a lot of damage.
coming out from Sirius, but now Hyper is online and Hyper gets the first
Yeah,
blood.
bans his own Fiora, but Aurelia does the trick here. Series goes in for the trade, but a straight up turnaround, and no jungler needed. 3 minutes, smack bang on the dot, and Hyper picks up a solo kill.
Hyper just showing his confidence on that as well. As soon as the flame spitter was over, he's like, well, that's all your damage. You don't have the
Yeah.
overheat for the extra damage. See ya.
Yeah, even if he was overheated though. Hits him with a stun anyway. Can't auto attack whilst you can't move, and very easy clean up there. Maybe has enough time to just walk back to lane as well without using his TP, so another base, another breakpoint could be hit here for Aurelia if he so chooses.
BTS off to that start. They really want me to wear that hoodie. It's coming.
Yeah, true.
We'll have to wait and see. It's just good to have some sort of, you know, having some fun with it.
Some accountability for a victory.
Yeah.
And he's going to do exactly that. So Hyper goes back, buys boots, double long sword, and he's going to TP, or walk rather is the point I'm trying to make, back to lane. So holds on to the TP advantage over his opponent. Series doesn't lose a whole lot other than the kill, but certainly loses a lot of priority and may find it very difficult to get that back in this lane.
Ooh, stylish from Frolic. He wanted to hit C-Wave, but saw the spell shield and was like, well, I'm not going to give him free mana.
I'm really surprised if Leet goes through with a recall here. Spotted out the Rumble walking down the river. Now is just kind of sitting in no man's land, and the wave is heavily pushed in Series' favor, which may just be counterintuitive here. Is he going to spot the Rumble in time? And yes, he is. So Leet sticking around the top side of the map.
Okay, so he can actually collapse. Yep, the ping is there in the top lane. We want top.
Oh, but we're looking mid lane,
Oh,
though.
mid lane
Here
as
we go.
well. So Uni also doing a gank. Sirius does fall as we expected.
Yep.
Caden's bought enough time with the Shroud to get himself to safety.
Yep. Hits him with the E. Just kind of
Bye-bye.
walks away. I really like how this Olaf skin says Graggy Ice when you hits the ground. But as we mentioned, Leet was able to do the wraparound. hits him in the top side gank, and Series loses his flash and his life for a second time.
I feel bad for Series. We were just harping on, you know, when you pick that Rumble, it's with confidence, you know the champ. Sometimes overconfidence can be really bad for you as well.
Yeah, I agree. I don't necessarily think this comes down to overconfidence, but he just got straight up outplayed. You get outplayed level 3 by an Aurelia.
I think the level 1, yeah, like that one
Yeah.
was a bit of outplay. Oh, okay, the Shroud. Cadence isn't quite in it just yet. Forced away. JLKC spots his opportunity, ignites for the flash.
Yeah, Ignite for Flash trade is certainly a positive one here for Order fans, so he's able to take him down, shove the Akali out of lane, and CS lead already brewing here for the LeBlanc. It is only going to get bigger as this wave crashes with no ability to be caught here by Cadence, so advantages in the mid lane here for Order, but top side of the map certainly not going their favor as Hyper. So just extending further and further. Got the little bit of a variety bucket in terms of his Triforce components here right now.
I'm just thinking of KFC variety
Yeah,
bucket.
that was the thing.
I like it.
Old school, like first mate KFC variety bucket.
Was that your LAN winning dinner? Like, or like if you
I don't
lost,
remember
you'd
where
get
it started.
KFC?
I was actually post to this time.
Uh-huh.
So I'm fairly old in terms of Oceanic League of Legends memes. But I'm not the oldest Oceanic League of Legends meme.
No, Gandalf Billy says otherwise. Just
Sure.
kidding. Seaway got his first reset, so already playing with the pickaxe, also
Ooh,
got the
Cadence.
dagger. Cadence has Shrouder, can play very comfortably around that.
Uni throws the axe, does not quite land, so cops a little bit of a beating on the exit, but unable to clear out that ward. It's Cadence. Holds fast in the mid lane.
Cadence is just chilling. I mean, that's kind of what you can do. Yes, we saw with the Shroud, that play where JLKC traded the flash means it's a bit more vulnerable, but still very hard to gank as long as the Shroud is up.
Yep, certainly is the case. A lot of pressure into the top side jungle right now. They know exactly where Uni is, and the collapse from multiple sides is here.
Again, Uni, he's forced to flash over the wall. Cadence has so much mobility, pops the Shroud, gets the kill.
And in between multiple lanes, the 3 versus 1 collapse would have been there if needed, but this is a CS lead. I was about to say lead has accrued over the Olaf jungle, and all of a sudden the top side of the map is only getting worse. Loses his red buff, loses the ability to help out his top laner, and certainly not a situation you want to be in.
First plate taken down by the spot lane with the Sivir. It's going to be very, very unforgiving in terms of how quickly and easily they can push. River also has a lot of vision coming out from Order Academy. We do know that the Drake is up, but Uni, he's in no position to go for it just yet. Still level 5.
Yeah. Free at level 6, doesn't have the ulti, and not to mention it's not the best dragon. Don't really want to spend your time soloing out an air Drake. I feel like he has started this one up, but with the help of the bottom lane, we'll be able to take that one down. Maybe. A contest could be on the cards here from UTS if they do want to go for it. Blasting plane is there, so lead can get over.
Doesn't matter if he's not level 6. A quick rotate. Bot lane constantly pushed up means that they hopefully might be able to secure it. Lead tries to go in for the contest. He actually uses dash to go in. He has no escape, and he feeds over a kill.
So, he had a blast plan. He chose to dash over the wall.
And then he's like, wait a minute.
That's one of the times when you know you just really screwed it up. You know, like that just sucked.
When you're just flailing at the wall and you're like, oh,
yeah.
man.
So that's a little bit of a roughie. He's going to look back on that one and probably laugh, but the rest of the team wasn't there to follow him up. He couldn't find the steal, so ultimately, Order Academy are able to pick the dragon up.
Midas trading well, but Mog is able to heal up most of the damage dealt. Frolic with a nice little zigzag.
Yeah, hits him with a Nokia snake tricks and bends it around the creep wave. A lot of sustain between these two lanes. As you can see, Midas is being healed up by the Yuumi as much as possible. Summoner heal is still there, but mana is completely gone. And I feel like mana is something that Yuumi certainly has to manage, right? Her abilities don't cost too much, but you do kind of want to spam them off cooldown. That auto attack is what I'm talking about. Once you get into range, you get that, I believe, 40, and I believe it also scales up with level mana back upon the passive. So it's important to keep proccing that one so that you can continually fire off these missiles time after time.
Minions, the MVP in any Yuumi lane right there, taking so many of the free hits that would otherwise go there. They really want that extra plating, but they can't quite get it just yet.
Yeah, eventually, maybe with the jungler tracking down, they may find a little bit more access, but
Cadence just going to get some vision, spots out the pink, knows that they have vision as well. Hyper being called across, we'll clear that one out.
And I will say, I think the fact that this top lane snowball hasn't happened a lot more than what is going on right now. There's a single plate, yes, there's a little bit of a CS lead, but it's not like Series after dying twice in lane is just getting hard boomed in the top matchup. And I feel like this has to be credited somewhat towards JLKC. Mid lane 1v1, able to pick this one up, is constantly shoving in the Akali, and LeBlanc is a very mobile champion. He can constantly float up the river and relieve pressure because he's not going to be applying it towards topside anytime soon, given the state of it, but kind of is the crux with which the UTS or Order Academy topside of the map rather is holding on with, I think, right now. Hyper rotating round as lead starts up the Rift Herald, so objective may just be taken down for free without a trade.
Waiting to see. Uni, as they don't have any vision, he's actually going down towards the bot side. But also, it just takes that roam from JLKC. He has Cadence on the ropes. Cadence is really struggling to farm under the turret. It's very, very tough. LeBlanc knows that he can win this matchup.
Oh, got himself a flank. No vision here for UTS, but maybe they know something is up right now.
There you go, the Axe connects. Midas is forced to, well, just flash on away. Sorry, teleport away.
Get themselves a
Blink
summoner.
away. Goodness me, I'm just doing every synonym but the one I needed.
Do blinks exist
Yeah.
in League of Legends? I guess Ezreal E is a blink. When you say blink, I think of Blink Dagger.
Ah,
which is the wrong MOBA.
Yeah, the wrong MOBA.
MOBA,
the wrong MOBA.
the
But
MOBA
it's like a
which shall not be named.
It's not a flash, and it's not a teleport. I was like, a blink.
Is blink like a HOTS term?
No,
Okay.
it's purely just blink dagger, but also you blink and you miss it.
Ah, true. I didn't even think about that. Return gank to the bottom side is going to be here. Leet is around, but so are 4 members from Order.
Uni trying to surround them. Leet actually keeping them at bay. The rest of the members of Order Academy don't want to fight this one. It's going very, very low. He gets the first kill. Mob forced to flash on away. Leet is hungry for more. Seaway completely zoned out by Hyper. The ultimate comes across from Sirius. It's not going to matter. Seaway is next to fall. JLKC needs to go across the wall. Double kill coming on out to Aurelia.
And such a huge flash knockup from the Aatrox in the jungle.
Not done
Fight
yet.
not
They
over
want
yet.
another one on Sirius. He's forced to flash, but he has been slowed. There's not going to be enough cooldowns. He does manage to escape.
Someone gets himself out of danger, but Rift Herald now popped towards the bottom side. 12 minutes on the clock, so plating is still available. Shelly going to get a lot of work done now down here for the UTS bottom lane. Haven't had too much respite underneath their turret, but Cull in the inventory of the Ezreal. This turret may be falling down, but it looks like a dive happening elsewhere on the
They
map.
did collect Sirius as well, diving him under the turret.
And he just falls down for free. No flash, no TP, and no ability to contest that wave, so...
Suddenly that Aurelia is 4-0.
Yeah. That was a very ambitious play. Order, they're looking for the dive, and a very good read from Lee. They go around the corner. Uni, yes, he can't be CC'd, but cops 90% of his HP bar in half a second, and Aatrox flash combo onto multiple members, turns that one around. Didn't even need the Yuumi ulti, and Order, yes, the TPs were coming, yes, the flanks were coming, but they'd already lost the fight by that
wants
point.
to go into Cadence. Frolic is back to tether himself onto Cadence, forcing him at bay. Cadence already gets so much more aggressive when he knows he has Frolic backing him up as well.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately for Frolic, he was going for the recall, and like the Luden's proc hits him on the head. He's like, all right.
Fine, I'll stay.
I guess I'll stay. Hits him with a Q, and JOKC has to back away.
Ooh, over here, Frolic trying to tether back onto Midas. It's not going to be enough. He cannot get it. Mog gets the kill.
And a very nice read there from the jungler of Order Academy. Knows exactly what's going on with Frolic, and no boots, no ability to get back to your AD carry, and that's just a dead Yuumi. Very easy kill off the back end of that one. Has a Dark Seal with no stacks, and that's always a sad time.
This bottom turret is going to be completely undefended. No one can really help. Even if Lee was to come across, very, very hard to defend. Maybe turning their eyes onto this dragon now.
Yeah, and it really is kind of turning into one of those games where each side of the map is going wrong for either team. This is a very heavily one-sided top side for UTS. 4-0 Aurelia, Rumble 0-3. You can see 1v1, he's straight up conceding the turret because he knows he's potentially going to get dived. Rumble ulti, red carpet, burns out the wave to buy him some time, but on the other side, Order Academy, Sona and the Sivir getting work done. Essence Reaver, Tears stacking up, and turret falls down.
LKC just blinks on in, gets those minions down. In the top as well, I mean, the Rumble ulti burn to also stop Hyper from getting more plates, so you know they are going to fall.
Yeah, that's kind of a Rumble trick of old. Was very prominent in lane swap metas where he was the best champion at dealing with it because he can buy you an extra wave, and an extra wave is so important. In this case, they do get themselves an Air Drake. Not the best, but given that they don't really have the choice to defend this, like they don't have the capacity to actually deny this turret if UTS want to go towards it, getting a trade for something is certainly worthwhile here for Order, and that's exactly what does happen.
Helps with the gold as well, because we can see that it is starting to become a bit of a lead forged by UTS.
Yeah. So the case, 3,000 in the back pocket, feels good. Probably a large majority of that one's going to be in the hands of the Aurelia. 5 members in mid lane for Order, whereas 4 tracking around, but Hyper is slowly rotating down, so danger pings being spammed.
Hyper mission accomplished, gets that top lane, gets even more gold for his team, secures it, but good vision from Order.
Yeah, spots out the rotation, knows exactly what's going on, and they don't want to commit to the mid lane turret. It's kind of the ebb and flow of League of Legends right now. Hyper takes down the turret, rotates to mid lane, Order back away, go towards the bottom side. I feel like at this point, JLKC is going to start becoming a problem in the side lane. 40 CS lead in the mid matchup. We talked about it earlier, but then really didn't touch on it from that point, but he was a stabilizing factor for this roster so far this game, and is now getting into the side lane. Level 11 LeBlanc has Ignite, has Flash available, so has all the tools he needs to make something happen, and I feel like Cadence is not near enough to a point in time where he can contest the LeBlanc.
Not by himself, anyway. Midas still trading in the mid lane. Both teams just slowed down the tempo a lot. JLKC, he's hungry for it, but he's not going to overcommit.
Yeah, turrets in the mid lane, hard to break, definitely, with rotations from both side lanes. Dragon gone, Rift Herald gone. Not a lot for these teams to fight over for the time being. So, as we somewhat expect, play does kind of slow down just a little bit. Gold lead ever so creeping up in the hands of UTS. Is trending towards 4,000 now.
Oh, just narrowly dodging the spell shield into Mog's face.
It's kind of one of those little mind games. As you're watching the matchup play out, it's like you have the choice to like throw it at Sivir. She will spell shield it if she wants, and then you just like zoom away.
Yeah. It's fancy footwork coming on out. 3 members grouped in the mid lane here, but it's going to be hard to overcommit anything from both sides. Still just farming up, seeing what opportunities they can get. Just either going to be waiting for a Dragon or Baron in the next 3 minutes or so. Yeah,
the problem isn't like mid lane. It's really on UTS to be able to force something onto the 3-man stack that Order have put there, and they don't really have the ability to. They don't have the Sona that can just throw out the ulti, right? Yuumi requires the setup. Ezreal really can't just stand there and face check a Sivir Sona combo, and it really does have to come from late, but getting behind someone in mid lane is incredibly difficult when both outer turrets are up. So you can see Hyper is just constantly pushing top, rotating down, and they are trying to use that window. But on the other side of the coin, Sivir, Seaway just one hits the waves and nothing really comes from it. But this is a little bit of an opportunity here. TP gets the Ezreal back into the play, and they may find access to the turret for a little bit.
Maybe they can land a few hits. Order Academy are here to respond, just trying to get rid of the wave. They do secure a couple of hits, but members so quickly back to respond.
They got an Ezreal W and an Aatrox auto attack and have to back away. So not the most happening there. LeBlanc is potentially looking for something. Ignite is now burnt.
Lead so low.
Heals from the Yuumi, plus the Summoner heal is able to keep him up, but that's an opportunity for Order, and they're running straight at mid.
They know that they can. They have one member very, very low. Hyper is being called across, but this turret will fall. Hyper now, whether he wants to engage or not, he actually does. Flash with the stun, gets the ultimate, locks him up. The response from Sirius is to make sure that the red carpet is down. Forcing the rest of the members. Cadence is so low, he doesn't manage to get the kill.
And such a close fight. Almost looked like UTS were going to wipe the floor, but as you mentioned, red carpet does God's work here. JLKC wants more.
Exhaust onto him, onto the clone.
Baits out a Summoner, and that just feels bad.
Midas is overcommitted, and he gets played. Frolic is there, no boots. It's going to be another kill onto JLKC.
Blows his flash, suicides for the play, and kills his Yuumi as well. The worst case scenario for Midas, and JLKC picks up another couple of kills. Disastrous decision there, and teamfight was already 1 for 2. Turns out to be a 1 for 4 in the favor of Order.
Just like that, Order swing things back into their favor. The gold lead all but gone from UTS. Still cling on to a bit of the slivers of it.
Yeah, because the team fights are so close. Sona ulti did work to deny Aurelia to continually get the resets. That was a big Yuumi ult into the Aurelia flank, right? And it's like, if Aurelia gets a single kill stun, she gets the reset, the Q hop, she's dashing all over everyone, and that's a wiped team fight, but the CC was just enough. The Rumble ulti dissuaded the follow-up just enough that Hyper didn't run over that fight, so UTS really need to be able to find ways to utilize Hyper, to get him into the backline and be looking for these engages. Dragon is going to be started up here by Order Academy. The contest is not going to be there.
JLKC being a bit tricky.
Maybe it
Ultimate
is.
is coming across. They do manage to secure the Dragon though on Order Academy, but very close.
Yeah, first time it was an air, did not get it. Second time it's an Infernal, does not get it and loses his flash here, so unfortunate there for the jungler of UTS.
You UTS regrouping, pushing up in this mid lane. They did lose that last team fight, but they'll know exactly what they did wrong. But serious, just this is the Rumble that you need to respect. Doesn't matter that he's 0-3. As long as he can consistently land his ults with the help of Mog, it will really discourage them.
One of the benefits of being a Magic Pen-based champion. Gets an Oblivion Orb, building towards the Zhonyas, and what I expect to probably be something like the Liandry's. And actually, no, not the Liandry's. What item am I thinking of?
The burning one?
No, that's Liandry's, but he doesn't have a burning face. He has the thing that builds into what is the Oblivion Orb?
Yeah.
Builds into
The book thing.
no, the other one, the circle thing. Spellbinder.
Oh,
is it
with
Spellbinder? I think that's what I'm thinking.
It has the similar icon to Oblivion Orb.
Once he gets levels.
I'm like the circle thing.
Yeah, the circle thing. There's lots of
I
circle
like how
things in
we've
League
got
of
the circle
Legends.
thing, the book thing, the mask thing.
Close. Close call.
We play this game.
Yeah, but my point was that once he gets levels, like he's fine.
Yeah.
If you hit level 16, then Rumble will be ultimately doing his job just okay. Certainly not going to be the crux of this composition, given the state of the game, but has an option, and he's going to complete the Morellos upon recall.
Nice. That will definitely help in terms of just stalling. There's a lot of spell vamp on the side of Cadence. It really helps shut him down.
So, 20 minutes now hit. Infernal plus double air on Order Academy, and they're starting to set up the vision.
Maybe. They get one pick. Order would be more than happy to do this one. The same two goes for UTS.
They have a lot of AoE sustain. Supports like Yuumi, but mostly like Sona, like Tarek, like Karma that can shield, heal multiple people. Really do excel at doing Baron and keeping people alive. Rakan probably puts his name in the ring as well with the AoE heal and keeping everybody topped up despite not being that tanky from just the AoE damage that happens. JLKC is going to find him.
Cadence has no idea the chain does go out. The combo there, the snare hits. Cadence needing to create space. JLKC wants to get that last hit, waiting for it. Gets the auto attack, gets the kill.
Yeah, calculates the damage, hits him with a Q. Luden's proc is enough to secure that one, and that may just be the pick they need. You can see Mog speeding his allies towards the Baron. Series is in dangerous territory, but will walk towards his team instead of the Aurelia. Oh, here we go.
Actually,
Hyper.
catching out. Hyper forced to retreat. Has to engage. There's no other way. The rest of his members trying to help him out. Uni's going to keep him at bay. Hyper falls. 4 members against
Rumble.
him. This is going to be the red carpet coming out from Rumble. The flash secures the kill onto Ezreal for the double kill. JLKC tries to do it. Again, the exhaust comes out to discourage him.
Yeah, and one pick turns into 2, turns into 3, and now Baron is absolutely the call here for Order. Cadence falls down, and now his death time at times out, but is the contest going to be here from Order Academy? Mog, he has the tier build, he has the Archangel, so he's never going to run out of mana healing them doing this one. Smite Fight could be available. Level lead here actually for the Aatrox with a 50 CS lead, so a 50-50, maybe more like a 55-45 in hands of UTS.
Leaks drops up. Morg is trying to discourage him, gets a little bit
Can they
chunked.
get in?
The teleport is coming.
He's
through.
in?
Baron is so low. They do secure the Baron, and now the Order Academy want to fight. Lee gets the snare. The rest of the members needing to fall away because, the rest of the members of UTS are here.
Yeah, so Order, they do just end up backing away. They get the Baron, they have all 5 members still up and available. If there was a couple more ultis there, if Yuumi had it, if Aatrox had it, if Aurelia had it, then maybe the second team fight around the contest on Baron could have been there for UTS, but unfortunately it's not the case, and really was that one pick. Cadence get picked off in the side lane, and then immediately Hyper does the same thing. This is a game where UTS had that 3,000 gold lead at like 15 minutes, but a couple of team fights back-to-back turn this one around, and Order firmly in control.
This is what I see time and time again from UTS. They play an amazing early game. They are always able to get the lead, but when it comes to mid, they really do struggle.
Yeah, becomes the pressure point. Macro and setting up all multiple lanes becomes increasingly important, unfortunately. Fallen down in this regard.
Baron now from Order, wanting to see how they can do this one. JLKC, he is literally being a pain in UTS's butt.
Yep. Burns his Ignite, but probably not the biggest price to pay. Sends Aatrox back to base. Didn't have the ulti either, so kill potential was certainly there. How that Q landed, I have no idea, but Seaway copped it in the face.
Fighters just wants to try and clear as best he can. This turret is going to fall. It's being powered by not only Seaway, but also the Baron minions. And any of the advantage Order can get. They're slowly opening up the map. They see their chance for the Infernal Drake. They're happy to really slow the push in order to secure that for their late game.
Yeah, and it's almost unbelievable with how this game started, right? This was a 0-2 rumble at something like 5 minutes, was getting demolished towards the top side, but the rest of Order Academy able to hold fast. Hyper has certainly been put on a leash somewhat and hasn't found the ability to continually force his lead on the opponents. And Order swung this one around. Next, they get the double Infernal Dragon, and Series is now the one left alone topside. He's going to take down 2 turrets back-to-back with the help of the Baron creeps.
He's well back into it. Got 2 kills under his name, starting to get a little bit of a bounty, pushing the side lane, really just making up all the gold that he lost in the early game. But more importantly, he's landing those ultimates and really swinging the tempo of the fight.
Using it to chase down people. Has the Zhonya's now completed, second item, so able to pick that one up. 10 stacks on the Medjai's here for the LeBlanc. Certainly feels good as being increasingly obnoxious as this game trends onwards and upwards.
Just like a pendulum though, the gold swings back from UTS being almost 3 to 4k up, back over to Order. As to be expected with the Baron, but it's so interesting that the game could take a turn like that.
Yeah, this gold lead in the mid lane, nothing to scoff at, around 3,000 there in the hands of the LeBlanc. Jungle lead is significant there for the Aatrox, but very hard to kind of leverage that one in a team fight when you've got big carries across the board. Like Seaway can hit your entire team, as opposed to the Ezreal cannot do the same thing straight up front to back, and JLKC can just be kind of annoying. A little bit of a bait here set up. Hyper doesn't have the stun. That goes wide.
Stun does connect, but Hyper is incredibly low. Teleport is trying to come across. It's going to be serious with the ultimate. Unfortunately, does not yet connect. It doesn't even matter, though. Leet is going to fall.
Yeah, disaster for UTS. Potentially a good play there. Looking to pick on the LeBlanc. They prepped it, but unfortunately, ulti goes wide. Stun doesn't land till too late, and a straight-up 1 versus 2 there from the LeBlanc. Rest of the team in tow, able to clean up a back end of those kills, but base maybe being broken here in the next 20 seconds by Order.
Spell shield by Seaway means that he doesn't eat any of the Ezreal ultimate from Midas, but the split here, needing to respond to multiple lanes, and this is Order playing that pressure very, very well. Anytime JLKC wants to go forward, Midas is chunked. Yeah,
if the chain landed there, that would have been a very easy kill. 10 stacks turns to 16 with the last couple, and 1 inhib goes down. Respawn timers now gone there from UTS, so all 5 members up and available, but that's going to be 2 inhibs just straight up gone at 27 minutes into the game.
Look at the stacks on JLKC's Medjai's. 16. That is disgusting. The amount of AP that man is playing with.
Yep.
Gross.
Basically 3 completed items without finishing a third, so working on it, not quite there yet. Baron, of course, has run out by this point, but definitely didn't need it to break the base. Potentially looking at the last remaining inner turret on the map as well here for Order. Just a couple of auto attacks is going to be enough. There it is, goes down, and Order just back away.
UTS completely forced now to be on the defensive, but things aren't going to get better for them. It's actually going to get a lot harder. They still have a lot of gold that they need to make up, but also the LeBlanc, their biggest problem, they still have no solution for JLKC just yet.
Yeah, Zhonya's completed only makes matters worse, given that UTS really do have like the one button. Akali's going to go in, and she's either going to one-shot someone or she's not. And Aurelia is probably in the same boat more often than not, so very difficult to lock people down through the Sona, through the Zhonyas, through the stopwatch that the Sivir has now picked up. So not a lot of targets up and available. Actually, every member but Sona has stasis on Order's lineup. For a comp facing double assassins like that, that feels very rough for Hyper and Cadence.
Yeah, they just don't care. But also Mog, he's rocking a Medjai's of his own. That's a very, very greedy Sona build. But look at his vision score. I think that's also the difference. I mean, Order were already opening up the map, but to have 68 versus Frolix's 43, it just shows how dominant they are in controlling any vision. To make it easy for JLKC to get these things.
Big chunk over the wall, starts this one off, 4 versus 5. Actually, 5 versus 3, because Aurelia isn't at the play. Inhib turret goes down.
That's going to be Inhib turret. JLKC still looking something. The stun finally does come through. Leet is losing health very, very rapidly. The flash comes across. He's going to fall. Currently, it's a trade 1-for-1. The respawn comes back up. Cadence in a lot of trouble. Getting picked on up. Leet just trying to stall as best he can. He too falls. Order win that fight very, very convincingly.
And exactly as we expected, the stopwatch is burnt from the Sivir. The Zhonyas is there from the Rumble. And Mog ends up trolling, but gets to leave off the back end.
Doesn't even matter. JLKC there to say hello to Midas. The first inhibitor turret goes down. Sorry, the first Nexus turret goes down. That's going to be the second one. And ORA, they completely go through mid lane, destroying UTS's defenses for this win right here.
Yep, get to pad the stats. A couple of creeps to buff up the score lines there, but
GG.
in a bit of a turnaround victory, right? UTS started that game off very strong.
They
Series
did.
coming in 2 weeks in a row, subbing in for the top side, and that's like a 2-0 Aurelia, and you're like, this is going to get much worse. Turns to 4-0, but just didn't go anywhere from there for UTS, unfortunately.
There's just really no shutdown, nothing for JLKC. I mean, I was looking at the CC that they had. It was basically just hyper stun. Everything else, basically just the stun from hyper. That's really all they were relying on to lock JLKC in place.
Yeah, that's like the first thing they have. Like Aatrox at one point, the turnaround dive where hyper got all those kills. Leak goes in like a big flash knock up, and then you can follow that with a Yuumi. But really, like, except for Aatrox getting in the back line, in terms of instant CC, it was just the Aurelia, and he has to be dealing with the side lane. He's never going to be there to start things off, and unfortunately, I feel like that is where it fell down. One pick turned into another pick, turned into a Baron for order, and once they had control, it didn't look like they were going to give that up.
It also felt like a lot of the time, Leet was forced to fill that tank role when we know Aatrox isn't a tank. He's a bruiser.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time, he was weathering a lot of the damage. Yes, you can argue if he manages to get the takedown, he can at least expend that one life. But JLKC was making sure that he never got the takedown. It was just, you're dead.
Certainly the case. Over the walls being super annoying. You do have to praise the Aatrox somewhat. 50 CS lead in the jungle fairly early in that game. Played it very well. But unfortunately, not enough for UTS to pick up their first win of the season. So Order, they progress to 2 victories. And don't go anywhere, guys. Actual banger matchup. Bombers versus Diacubs. 3 minutes. See you there.